Hi everybody, it's Andrew Hutchings with you here again tonight. Still not a doctor, still don't know if I'll end up being a doctor. And the topic of this video is, do you need to run a test base on a Dianabol Methandrostenolone cycle? And the answer is probably not, but I can't say definitively yes or no. And to my knowledge, like 99.99999% chance nobody else can, because to truly say yes, to truly say that no, you do not need a test base would be to say that a human body can be, a human male body in particular, assuming you're a guy, you should be, and because there are differences, and I won't get into the reasons, but that would be assuming that a human male can maintain just the same health with Dianabol instead of testosterone as they would normally maintain with testosterone. And the problem is, you can't simply give one person Dianabol until they're completely shut down and have the other person without the Dianabol and then go, oh, well, they're both healthy, they both have good, obviously the Dianabol person's going to have worse liver enzymes, like if they're identical twins, 99.999% chance that twin on the Dianabol would have worse liver enzymes and other enzymes would be out of whack. But even disregarding that, just going off how it can maintain bodily functions and not by any harm it may do, it's very, very difficult to truly say that something is maintaining bodily functions the way they should be, because that, our ability to measure that depends on, well, our ability to measure signs that the body is still working how it should. We are limited by what tests we can do. So you can only test for so many things, and even if you can test for so many things, typically you won't test for every single thing possible. So then you're just going off a certain set of tests, and based on those tests, you're going, yes, that person is healthy, no, that person is not healthy. The problem is, those tests don't tell you everything that's going on in the whole human body. So, for that reason, we can't say that you would be entirely healthy on a Dianabol-only cycle, but it does seem likely that you would be mostly healthy. The reason being that, assuming you're taking the Dianabol at a higher dose than would simply be a sort of replacement dose for your testosterone, given that Dianabol is less androgenic than testosterone, but you would be taking a higher dose most likely, you're going to be getting enough androgenic effects. You're also going to be getting enough anabolic effects, and you are most certainly going to be getting enough estrogenic effects, because Dianabol is metabolized into into more potent estrogens, not estrogens singular, but it's metabolized into more potent estrogens that are more resilient to degradation. So if you look at the three main things, the androgenicity, the anabolism, and the estrogenicity, it checks off all three of those boxes, and those are the main things that testosterone is for. But the thing is, the human body rarely only has 1, 2, 3 functions for something. Typically you'll have the main functions, maybe it's 99.5 or 99.9% of its functions. But the thing is, everything does a lot of other little tiny things in the body. So yeah, it covers all the major bases, but we do not know how well it covers the minor bases, so to speak. And who knows, maybe one of its metabolites gets changed into another metabolite that doesn't work the way some other metabolite should work, and that causes some weird... you just don't know unless you actually study it in depth. And even if you study it in depth, you can only measure so many things. That's the problem. And that's why it's ridiculous how a lot of medical studies will, oh, this thing improved health, or there was no change in health, or there was no decrease in health. when really you're just saying there was no change in the things you measured. Because you don't truly know everything. So should you take testosterone on a Dianabol cycle? Well, I hope you realize that it's probably wise to make sure you have some testosterone in your body, but for the main things, you don't need it. But yeah, like I said, there are other things testosterone does that we know about, and other things that it most likely does. I don't know what things it most likely does, but it most likely does other things that we don't yet know about, or just we don't yet care to know. For one reason or another, we don't know all the little tiny things it does. So it's a good idea to always have testosterone in your body. But then the question arises, is it really that important to be doing all those little processes for a short period of time? Well, that's another question that has no answer yet. So to play it safe, it's a good idea to have testosterone in your body, but of course that will lead to more aromatization because you're going to have more aromatizable androgens in you. So you may have to use an aromatase inhibitor, but perhaps it would be worth it so that you get all the biological functions that testosterone is meant to affect. The other thing would be that adding testosterone into the mix is going to increase total androgenicity. So you gotta keep that in mind as well. I mean, not that it's typically detrimental for men, but still it's something to keep in mind that you are increasing the androgenic load. Anything else? I think that's pretty much all. I think the lesson of the day is that no matter what you're on, even if it can, for the most part, replace testosterone's functions, there are other little things that testosterone does that it may not replace, or it may change. We just don't know. So it's best to play it safe, and your body is meant to have testosterone, so give it testosterone. But if you're not fully shut down, I mean, you probably would be on Dianabol, but if you're not fully shut down yet, and you still have natural testosterone, like I talked about in my Anavar video, then you probably don't need to supplement testosterone yet. For girls, you should not be taking Dianabol, but if for some reason, heaven forbid, that you do take Dianabol, then you do not need to supplement with testosterone because you will still have your natural testosterone because you don't have testicles that are getting shut down. Your testosterone is not made in your testicles that you don't have, so don't worry about supplementing testosterone. Girls are lucky if they take steroids because they don't have testicles. You can take steroids indefinitely in that regard. Not that you should, because there would be other adverse health effects. Even if there doesn't seem to be any adverse health effects, anytime you mess with something in the body, there's adverse health effects. Unless you have a deficiency and you're correcting the deficiency or some other problem that you're correcting. So yeah, I hope you like this video. Hope you learned some stuff. Please like and subscribe and comment. And check out my Instagram, natural_true_fitness, where you can hire me for coaching, diet advice, fitness advice, like what exercises to do type stuff, when to do them, how long to do them, how many sets to do them for, how many reps to do them for, how much time to take in between each, all sorts of stuff, diet advice, supplement advice, especially when it comes to these kinds of supplements. Because if you don't know all the stuff there is to know about them, chances are you're going to do something that is going to negatively impact you. And you may not even know what you did. Well, I mean, you're not going to know, but then if you went to someone knowledgeable afterwards and you described everything you did, then they could go back. But still, it's like, yeah, you don't want to wait until after you've caused the problems to try to fix them. It's better to know what to do in the first place and not cause them in the first place. And it just makes life simpler if you do things right. As usual, I don't recommend taking drugs. I really don't. I'm not just saying it for the video, because your body is meant to be the way that it is. Unless you have a deficiency in something or you have an illness which needs to be corrected, your body maintains the homeostasis it has, and it has all of its biological functions the way it does, and it doesn't want something to come in and mess with all that. So, once again, I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe and check out my Instagram.